Okay, welcome back. I spent a fair amount of time looking through photos, looking through the books, etc. I couldn't really solve anything, but I have a little bit of a new direction to go on. We'll see whether it pans out. To be honest, I'm not terribly hopeful that it will. But before we head in here into the grotto, let me just show you quickly what I noticed. We'll start with the picture. So, in this picture, we have I went through this with the magnifying glass, of course. We have screenshots of that, but I'm just going to zoom in on this one. We have a couple things. One, dead end is pointing to a C. So we have X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and dead end is pointing to the red C. I haven't figured out the meaning of that. Looking at the page that the dead end is on is not the third page. It's not even close. I think it's like the fifth or something like that. So I really don't see the relationship between those two things. Also, it's interesting to note that dead is all capitals and end is not. And then we have seen all the signs, and it says 10, and there are 10 signs throughout the book, so those line up, but the first letters of the signs don't amount to anything. So actually, I can even bring up the notepad for this. So there's the notepad, and if we look at the signs here, R, D, K, T, R, D, R, E, S, O. So I don't think we spell anything interesting there. Maybe I should type out those letters and maybe think about it a little bit more, but I don't think there's anything terribly exciting out of those 10 letters having two vowels. But you'll see here, major. So let's zoom in on this. Major, right? Major's been split. Now we see major mentioned a few times, so major key over here. We go to the next page, we see the suspect is major, etc. But yeah, if we split it into major, like Detective von Marvel did, then we get major, and if we translate that into Iranian, we get small name. Ma is Iranian for the prefix for small. And if we go back here, it wasn't in the classroom, but the detective wrote it on this chalkboard for us. Jor is name. We knew lore was word, but that's a new one for us. So, small name. Now, what could that be referring to? Well, we did have a note in the computer system that said something about adding a new admin. However, their name doesn't conform to the necessary length. So that's an interesting crossover. Information from two different sources. One saying that the name's not long enough for the system's password, and then, or something along those lines. And then the detective here saying small name. So what name would be small enough? Now I was thinking Christoph, because Christoph didn't have a last name. So before, when the computer terminal said that it wasn't a correct format for the password, I was thinking, oh, well, if Christoph doesn't have a last name, that doesn't work out because the passwords are made for first letters of the last name and the first letter of the last name, of the first name. But I think we found a different thing. So if we check through these pages, actually, I'm just going to switch over to that picture immediately. There we go. We look at this, we have a list. It's the suspect list. And we have Christoph Clark. So it's unlikely that there are two Christophs in the game. So Christoph does have a last name, namely Clark. But more interestingly, if you look at the rest of this list, you'll see there's a Bo Lee. Now, I don't know why a 16-year-old is on this list, or a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, 12-year-old, but there's somebody named Bo Lee. And if we look at the last name, it only has 3 letters. We need the first 4 letters of the last name. We can't do that here. So I'm going to try that here in the admin center, the grotto, and see if maybe that comes up with something. Let's try, we'll try Lee and a B. Oh, that worked. I was thinking it would be Lee Bo maybe, but that worked. So we got in with somebody's username, and that person was not in this list. Isn't that interesting? We got something new here. This is exciting. What can we do with it though? Network settings, probably the same stuff. Immediate, not even sure what that actually affects. Electronic mail settings, probably all on. Check connection offsite. Okay, still temporarily disabled. That's fine. And we'll return to the menu. We have the user database. We have the admin logs. Do we have access to the deleted files? I think... Hold on, what was this? After some deliberation, our network has been named Blackbridge, a somewhat ominous name. Oh yeah, right. We knew that. Regular maintenance support. 3 new admin keys have been added to the network's user database. Lee B, Prov C, and We did not get this before. This must have been deleted. Okay. It is screenshot time. Admin log view access restricted to the following admin keys. Lee B, Prov C, and Hoon V. Hoon U? Is that Hoon U? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hang on. Let's quickly just bring up the... I know this is pretty exciting. We're getting new info here. I finally solved something. But if we bring this up, are these people also on that list? Lee B, Prov C. No, there's no Prov C here. And Hoon U. I don't see Hoon U here either. Interesting. So I wonder what's up with those names. Well, they're not there, so... Alright. Let's keep reading. Oh, I see. Lee B is the one who made these notes. Ah. Okay, Prov C. Lee, we are planning something later this year and need to make sure communication on here is not being archived. Are there additional steps we can take to ensure privacy? Already taken care of. We are now bypassing message archiving. Oh, Randolph shouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary. No way. Admin log view access restricted to the following admin keys. Wow, these guys. Who are they? I don't remember anyone with the name... Well, Bo Lee. These were kids. At least one of them is. Lee is a 14-year-old, was it? 16? Good. No one else on the estate knows we're here. Other than Mary, of course, who saw Lee on Tuesday, but Hoon Yu has a plan to take care of her. What? If it must be done, it must be done. Just see to it that the body is not discovered. Oh my goodness. The last thing we need is for the Red Guard to be snooping around here. Who the heck is... What is going on? She won't be found, rest assured. Let's disperse for now. I'll meet you all at the safe house in Reddington in 4 days. Then, once the inquiry is over, we will proceed with our plans for the museum. Hold on. Other than Mary, of course, who saw Lee on Tuesday. Okay, I was under the impression that Mary was the one who carried out the whole museum thing. Was it not her? Once the inquiry is over, we will proceed with our plans for the museum. Resuming operations. Welcome back, Lee. I've been camping out of the old schoolhouse for the past month waiting for your turn. It's spacious, quiet, and should prove to be an effective base of operations, outside of the purview of the staff of and the Baron. Hang on, I need to be taking screenshots of all of this. Sorry, this is kind of crazy. It somewhat throws what I previously believed out the window? So, was Mary killed? Oh, sorry. Resuming operations. Oh yeah. Old schoolhouse. We should have an opening on the first day of September. Can we be ready by then? I don't see why not. Negotiations for transportation are in the final stages. If all goes well, we will have air passage to Nuance secured for that date. Huh. I think Moore is planning a scheduled maintenance soon, so we should likely wrap things up here. I'd say it's time to scrub these logs. They might fall under some scrutiny in the near future. Ravsi and Hunyu and Libby delisted and deleted from the user bit database. Those are the 3 that are delisted. Okay. Temporary access to the mainframe of Blackbirch Grotto has been restored. How did he not notice that? Like, we can see here that there were deleted logs. He didn't notice there were deleted logs there? Okay. So that's really cool. We got some info. Just checking to see if there's anything else in here. Oh, have I gone the wrong way? Yeah. K, RTA is down. Hang on, it keeps turning me around. What's going on here? That's just the end. Okay. Changing to the guard. Inbound and outbound messages as well as offsite connection from outside the state have been disabled. What the? So these guys came in, hid out on the estate, maybe killed Mary, and then robbed the museum and fled for Nuance. So then how did the crown end up? No, hold on. Because the crown ends up in room 46. So these guys wouldn't have brought it there, would they? No. Something else must have ended up happening. She won't be found, rest assured. The safe house in Reddington. So we have a few locations. A safe house in Reddington. And a flight to Nuance in September. Wow. Okay, I'm not too sure what to make of that, to be perfectly honest. Like, that's info for sure. But what do we do with that info? Wow. Crazy stuff. Not at all what I was expecting to find. So, Bo Lee is a bad kid. Huh. Let's head to the outer room. We'll start drafting stuff. Maybe aim for the corner cases and maybe aim for that clock tower. Who knows? We'll get it someday. But the thing is, I'm kind of worried that we're going to put the clock tower there with the den below it and it's not going to do anything. Because I was even thinking, like, what am I expecting to happen when I place it? I don't know. The tomb, the root cellar, and the trading post. Maybe we try to just draft dead ends. Is that a good idea? We can go for it. Sure. I won't bother walking down there. Wow. So, what to do about Bo Lee, the perpetrator, or the intended perpetrator, whether he did or not succeed? The conservatory, the mailroom, and the parlor. Well, unfortunately, none of these is the corner case, so we'll take the conservatory, because that does help us out with things. I don't have a shovel, I don't have a sledgehammer. Once we get those items, we can come back here, though. In the conservatory, we can change the likelihood of drawing these things. If I'm going for the dead end trophy, do I want to make the walk-in closet more common? Maybe. The foyer, I feel, is just not needed. We have a master key. Yeah, I'm just not excited by the foyer. The boiler room. Do I need the boiler room anymore? What does it power? It powers the laboratory. It powers the furnace, if we needed that powered. I'm gonna make this a rare room. Isn't that strange? We also have the aquarium now, so the aquarium can do some power for us. I think I'll make the walk-in closet common. 4 items for 1 gem is a pretty good trade. The only downside being that it's a dead end, but then we're trying to get the dead end trophy at some point, so that's even a positive for us. I'm down to 1 gem. The utility closet is a dead end. The bedroom and the observatory. I'm a fan of the observatory. The bedroom doesn't cost us a gem, but I'll go with the observatory here. No items. We have found items in here before. Oh, Draxus the Dead. Dead end rooms are more common today. That's going to be helpful. Also a pair of chests. Man, if we can find ourselves a sledgehammer, we'll have everything. Commissary would be good, but I think I made that one rare. The clock tower, another bedroom closet. I don't have the gems for the passageway. Do we redraw this? I could redraw, I don't know what I'd be hoping to redraw though. Something with 3 doors. I think we'll do that. Walk-in closet, the pantry. Ooh, that sucks. That hurts a lot. We don't have a gem for the walk-in closet. We'll put the planetarium down because it's a dead end. It counts as 1. Off of the observatory, that's kind of fitting. I would really like a sledgehammer here. Okay. Down the hallway we go. The corridor, I should say. The security and the furnace and the nursery. Obviously, we'll take security in this situation. Oopsie daisy. Well, we got the dead ends, that's for sure. Aww. We don't have security. And I think that means the end of our run is upon us. Oh, all the resources we could have. If only there were a sledgehammer. I'm just gonna check. We didn't actually walk down this way. Maybe they delivered a sledgehammer. No. I didn't think they would. Oh! Oh, we can use keys. That's true. Okay, well, let's use keys on the trunks. I forgot about that. Well, those ivory dice would have been useful a moment ago. My bad. We could have opened these preemptively. Oh well. That's alright, we can go through another day. It's not a big deal. We carried over a coupon book and a prism key, which are not the most useful items anyways. And then we had a few extra gems and coins, but yeah, no biggie. We'll just collect things and then call it a day. The only thing I'm looking for is a key card. It is possible. I think we have found a key card in the trunk before. So, just in case. Because if we did get one, we'd keep going. We certainly have the dead ends going. Well, there are 3 keys there. Wow. Lots of keys. Those are pretty good, but not good enough to get us through the furnace, the foundation, all that stuff. We did get the conservatory, so that's nice. I'm not going to bother running back to the tomb for any money. I don't know what to make of the whole nefarious goings on. Like, we got that from a new clue, which is nice. A weird thing about that, though, is we got that information from a new clue, which is written by Mary. And Mary wouldn't be able to write that if she was not alive anymore. So I'm pretty sure they failed. Mary's alive. She stole the crown. She got us the crown. I don't know why there are 2 groups of people planning to steal the crown hiding out in the same estate. Is that just coincidence? Or are the 2 groups connected somehow? It's kind of strange. But we'll figure it out in time. The shelter, the shrine. Ooh, the shrine. I forgot to make an offering yesterday, I think. We had that. Shelter, shrine. I think we'll take the shrine. See what options we get. I'm not going to donate right away, though. Or should I? Yeah, let's donate. Let's donate right away. I'll donate 50. We'll hold on to 13 coins, just in case we come across a commissary and want to buy a shovel or a sledgehammer. There we go. The blessing of the dancer. While drafting, you may pay gems to spin floor plans for 6 days. That's okay. It's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something a little bit more interesting, like the Tinkerer. It was pretty good. In fact, if we had that blessing on the day that we just ended, then we would have been able to continue going, because oh no, we couldn't. The pantry was the one we drew, I think, which would have been a dead end regardless of however we rotated it. Drawing room, the tunnel, and the pantry. I'm definitely going to do the drawing room on this one. And what I'm really hoping is that we can redraw into the den on the left side here. But first, let's go here. I hope it's locked. It is locked. So we can use the secret garden key. That's nice. Maybe in a min-maxy way, it would have been better to do the, like to draft room here and then use the secret garden key when we go north or south, but oh well. This is what I chose to do. And those dogs in the kennel just unlocked the doors here for us. That's very nice of them. In some keys. I don't think there's anything else here, but we do get the antechamber opened up. So that's nice. Alright. Let's... Oh, there's another dirt pile. There you go. The trophy room, the conservatory, and the pantry. Obviously the trophy room would be the best option here in terms of continuing, but I really like the conservatory. And we got the veranda, so the green room is more likely to have items. Like this trunk. Money, money, money. That's not bad. What do we dig up? A turnip! Hooray. And it unlocks the door for us. Also a key and a magnifying glass. Pretty good. Green rooms are awesome. I like them. Okay. What do we have here? The attic. Ooh. The hallway is already commonplace. We're going to keep it commonplace. The dining room is standard. We're going to make it commonplace. Are we? Is that a good idea? We don't really want to see the dining room early on. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we do, though. Let's make it commonplace. Even if we get it early on, we can grab the lunchbox and move onwards, and then come back to the dining room later. And the attic is currently rare. We're going to make that commonplace. I wouldn't mind seeing this a lot more. Especially like early on. If we like on the first row of, or the first rank of rooms, and we get the attic, that's pretty amazing. Of course, we need the gems in order to open it, but that is really good. Okay, let's open this. The nursery, the dining room, and the mailroom. We're going to take the dining room here. Seems the obvious choice to me. We are down to two gems. This is the quail, which I think wants us to have a boiler. Oh, trophy room. Yeah, that's okay. We don't have it, but we're going to eat it anyways. I don't mind. I'm sure we'll get by with 69 steps and running shoes. Nothing to be done in here, is there? Still suspicious just because of those circles. Okay, we'll head southward. But after heading southward, I do not... Ooh, master key. We don't need the master key. We actually don't need any of these, though. No, we'll just take the coat check, and I'm going to leave the master key alone. We don't need it. Not on this run. It does kind of raise the question, should I be keeping a different item in there other than the master key? What item would I keep? There's an orange for us. Orange, you glad you? Okay. Lockpick kit doesn't unlock the door. We'll use a key and the cloister, the servants' quarters, the mailroom. We really want the den here, so redraw the floor plans. Okay, that's not the den. We're going to redraw again. Oh, that's a shame. Too bad. Actually, hold on. Maybe it doesn't have to be the den. I did have a list of things that have swans on them. Let's look for that. Yeah, swan. Attic, den, and walk-in closet. Did we pass the walk-in closet? I wouldn't have noticed if we had. Oh well. Alright. Well, that's a shame. The boudoir, the freezer, and the pool. Do we just freeze our assets? I can head through the chapel. We can get to the antechamber, but I really don't know what the purpose of getting to the antechamber at this point is. Oh, the boudoir had a chest. Or a safe. Sorry. We got our dice. We got our safe. Oh! And I just realized. I think we got a clue here. I think we've got a clue here. Hang on, hold on, hold on. Aha! Where's my stuff? There we go. If we taunt small gates, doesn't make sense to me, but that's fine. Small gates. 8 dates crack 8 safes. What date could we glean from this picture? When our dear uncle told us don't look for any, don't be writing down any dates and stuff. There's no dates to be written down here. It's clearly Christmas time, and Christmas time is December 25th. So is it 1225 or is it 2512? Oh! We opened a safe. This is our first safe? We opened the shelter safe. I think this is our first actual safe that we've opened. It's emptier than I would have liked. We get a gem. Oh my goodness. Hold on. This says letter 4. Okay. And we have magnifying glass too. That might be useful. Herbert, I was distraught to learn that you have chosen to omit the details of our dear Marion's disappearance from the public record. It is no surprise to me that the royal court would want this embarrassment kept as quiet as possible. But I am shocked that you have so little regard for your niece that you would play the king's scullion and stoop to kissing the foot that treads upon her memory. She gave up her family, her fortune, and her life, and all you can do is think of your name. Having never had a family name nor fortune of my own, I cannot personally condemn you for faltering in your commitment to make the same sacrifices she did. But for the love of God, do not, by that same display of weakness, clutch your petty assets so tightly that you undermine the cause that she forfeited everything to further. Our countrymen must be made aware of the price she paid, and must be made to see the color of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. To deny her story is to deny her life. If through your silence you bless this betrayal, our son, Simon, your heir, will inherit a fortune of lies and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Needless to say, we will not be coming for Christmas this year. Daniel. Wow. That's my dad, right? Dad had some harsh words for Uncle Herbert. I was distraught to learn that you've chosen to omit the details of our dear Marion's disappearance from the public record. She gave up her family, her fortune, her life, and all you can do is think of your name. And then he says, for this, do not by that same display of weakness clutch your petty assets so tightly that you undermine the cause that she forfeited everything to further. I don't know. I don't quite understand. So, okay, I'm going to back up. So, see, now I'm thinking of this with the context of that bow person plotting to kill her and steal the crown. But if we just ignore him, if we go back to what I was previously thinking of, Marion had this plan to steal the crown for Orinda Ares, right? She said for the black something. Okay, so she and her crew, they go in, they steal the crown to show Fenris that they're not on top and that Orinda Ares is still alive. And then they stuck the crown in Herbert's place. So that seems like a little bit of a weird turn because they're not like publicly displaying the crown, you know? So maybe that's what Daniel's referring to here, is that he's holding on to the petty assets. He's holding on to the crown maybe itself. I don't know. It feels like this is referring to something. I don't know. Okay, well, it's information. We've got it. And there's also this little thing that the gems have been sitting on. I don't know if those are relevant, because there's one of those in the other safe as well. The fact that they've had gems in the safes is interesting to me. I wonder if there's something to do with which color of gem is where. Has it been red gems in the two safes? The shelter and this one? That may be. Red gems alongside the red letters. That would make sense. Planetarium. Oh, yeah. And then down near the sanctum, through that red door, we saw a red gem on the table beside that red letter. So definitely something going on with red gems. The laundry room doesn't do us much good. I'll just put the planetarium here. Also, I think we had the planetarium on the day that we ended before. I forgot to go back and call it a day in there for the constellation boost. Oops. I'm still wondering whether there's somehow a date up here related to the drawing room. Because we need to figure out what date to put into the safe in the drawing room there. Battery. Another question is, are the dates for each safe room in the room that the safe is in? You know? A workshop would be nice at this point. We have a lot of good components. So, for example, the drawing room is the date we need hinted in there. Oh, the attic. Oh yeah, I already had that marked down as a swan spot. Is there a date on this? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't see any date there. Yeah. We don't know anybody's birth dates. We do know approximately what my birth date is, because in her ladyship's chamber, she had a diary talking about her daughter giving birth to someone, and that would have been me. So that's neat. There's April 12th. Change the ending to political. Does this matter? April 12th? Hold on, I'm going to write this down as a possible date. Oh, I've had the notepad up the whole time. Sorry about that. I forgot it. Yeah, we'll put it here, sure. Alongside the clock tower stuff. Oh, safe codes. Here we already had this. So April 12th. Attic. How about red prints projection? Okay. Yeah, 24418 is not a date. That was a bit of a stretch that it would be something useful. April 12th might be important. Which safe that would be for, I do not know. Unless there's one in here I haven't noticed. One of these boxes. No. Nope, nothing interactable. Okay. Well then. What do we have? We can run back to the armory and buy that Morning Star for an additional constellation. We can go to the drawing room and try April 12th on that safe, just in case it happens to be the right code. We can go to the planetarium and end the day there for 2 additional stars. That sounds like a plan. Let's do that. I can't light the fireplace. Okay, April 12th. Let's do 04112. Go. Nah. I was hopeful. I was a distant hope. What date would there be in here? Is there a date code on the back of this picture? Nope. Clock is not frozen. Okay. Well, that's about all I can do for today. Can't think of anything more. We got something open. That's pretty cool. Overall, it was a successful day. Like, we got this safe opened up. We got some info in the grotto there. That was pretty neat. I'm somewhat surprised, actually, that it worked out. I saw that, and honestly, I was like, I sort of put a note down. And then I went looking off at more screenshots and all that stuff. And then I came back to it, and I was like, that's pretty specific. That's pretty specific that they would have such a short named person on the suspect list in the book that they say we need a small name. So I was like, it's got to be something. So that was pretty cool. Figured out a puzzle. That's great.